Greetings, everybody, and welcome. I've had some requests to show how to manage simulated trades using thinkorswim to be able to assess your P&L and your Greeks, etc. So I thought I would put a little something together. So I have sort of an overview that I will show first, and you may want to print out parts of this if you need to, and then I will go in and actually do the procedure so that you can follow step by step. So basically, this is sort of a three-part process. First of all, we're going to have to be able to have a folder located somewhere on your desktop or in your documents section, but a folder in which, to which you can export the files that you will then want to bring back in. So we'll do that first. And then you actually have to select the trades that you want to be exported to that folder. And I'll show you how to select the trades and then the methodology by which you can actually export them to that folder. And then thirdly, since you're probably going to be adding to that, you need to know how to bring those trades back in or to import them back in, and then to be able to append your new trades on top of that. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Before we get started, I have a couple of screenshots. So these are the areas of thinkorswim that you'll be working with: the monitor tab and the account statement. If you're trying to import some SPX trades, like for example, if you had a road trip or a condor or whatever, you can put that symbol there, and then that will show the SPX trades only. And then there's a button here which I'll show live, and there will be a calendar icon which will come up, and you'll need to select the number of days that you want thinkorswim to look back to find the trades that you want to export and then import. So we'll work on that. And then, so obviously in advance, you'll have to know when the start date was for the trades that you wanted to bring in. Now, the example that I'm going to show today will be on the 15th of February cycle, and this happens to be a road trip trade. And so I will show how to bring that in, and you can see these are in reverse order. So this was opened on the 4th of December, and the last trade was on the 10th. And then you have to be able to highlight, to select, and then to analyze, each of these trades. And I only have 3 of them here. And once you right-click on this, on one of them, then it will turn blue. And so that actually is a useful device because it'll help, pardon me, because it'll help you keep track of where you are, in the selection process. And so once you've selected a trade and you clicked on the Analyze, then it'll pop up down here. And right over here, you see the little, the hash mark icon or whatever nomenclature you want to give to it. This will give you a drop-down menu that you can use to import and to import. So I'll be focusing on that. And then once you have made your selections and you're getting ready to export, you then will click on the hashed icon that I just now showed you, and there will be a drop-down menu, and you'll want to export the current trade. When you do that, you'll get this menu will pop up. You'll have to name the file that you're now going to be exporting, and you have to select a designation, and that will be the file that you would have made very early on, right up here. So with that overview in mind, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to just name this video test. And there it is up there. And you can see up here, I already have a couple of folders that I have set up for my existing trades. One for the exported trades from my IRA, and one from a paper trade account that I use for the road trip trade light. So I have a new folder sitting there now. So I've done step one. Now, moving on to step number 2, we're getting ready to export. So let's go ahead and use the 15 February cycle that I showed you a snapshot of early. So I'm going to click on the Monitor tab and click on the account statement. The first thing I'm going to do is to reset all filters. So that's the hashed icon up here, and reset all filters. Now you see everything is blank. So let's go ahead and do it on the SPX. And let's go back to the 3rd, and we'll see if we get the trades that we need. Now you can sort these. Notice where I'm clicking here, and I'm going to bring the 15 February trades to the top. And you can see that I launched this on the 4th. So if I wanted to get rid of these others, I simply go back up here, I click on the calendar icon again, and I click on the 4th. So now these now begin on the 4th, and there's the one that I'm going to start with for the 15 February cycle. So I'm going to start from the top here, and I will go on through the 15 February. So I'm going to right click up here, and then I'm going to analyze, and that then will automatically bring this up, and the risk graph will show what I've just now clicked on. So there it is. Now I go back to the Monitor tab, and notice this is in blue as I mentioned, so this tells me I just now did this one. I'll go the next one down, I'll right click, I'll click on the Analyze, and now it brought that in. And I will continue to sequentially go through these until I have them all in. Now you have to be a little careful here. You want to make sure you don't actually import something that you don't want. And there is the final one, which was actually the day that we launched. So this is the trade. Now, the Greeks are accurate, and the P&L is accurate, except that it doesn't count the commissions. So you'll have to add those in yourself. And there is a way to check that these are correct, because once you have the positions in, you can go back and forth. You can toggle back and forth on the hide positions and the hide simulations. This is the 15 February. So if I am going to hide the simulations, I have this. And let's see what our Greeks are. 6.3 and 107. And this is live, of course. You can see them changing. And 508 and 63. Okay, these are not exactly the same, and I think that is because, well, actually I know why that is, because I have an existing 15 February trade in here. So I'm not going to be able to do that, because you'll see this is now showing the existing trade. But once everything is in, you can use this method to go back and forth and to check your existing positions versus the positions that are shown by the simulated trades. So we'll do that again a bit later. So we'll go back to the simulated trades. And now I want to export these to the file that we have made. So I come down here to the Actions menu icon, and I want to export the current trades. Now make sure you don't click on all trades. So you want to click on the current trades. That will bring up this dialog box, and I'm just going to make this 15 Feb test, and I'm going to send this to the folder that I made a bit earlier, video test. So there it is. Now we can go back to the desktop, and you'll see that it is sitting in there. So that is our folder, and that's going to contain the files that we're going to be utilizing. The next thing now, what we've done so far, we've made a folder. We have identified the trades that we want to use as our simulated trades to keep track of for P&L purposes. We have identified them, and we have then made the selections, and we've exported them. So we have done, in the overview that I gave you earlier, we've done number 1 and number 2. So now let's say that we want to make another trade here today. And then once we're done with that, we're going to export the entire sequence of trades again to our same folder, and we'll give it a new date so that we can identify that we're current. So it's very important to bring in the trades that you already have, to import them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that process. So I will come up here and I will delete the simulated trades. So now we're back to square one, you see. We do not have anything in. So now I'm going to bring those trades back in. So I will import the trades, and there it is. This is the same folder. Windows obviously remembered this. So I'm going to bring them back in, and there they are. Same thing we just now had. So now let's say I wanted to add a trade here. Let's say I wanted to, let's just see here, 15, where are we? 15 February. Okay, here we are, 15 February. And let's just say I wanted to add a put credit spread. Okay, so we're in 15 February. And notice that the things that are being shown here are my existing positions, not the simulations. So if you did not have any existing positions for this cycle, then these would all be blank. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a 2,500, 2475 credit spread. And there it is down there at the bottom. So this is the one I just now added. And when you look at the risk graph, that will be incorporated into the risk, the graph. And notice this is changing as when I click and unclick. That's the reason why it's important to have all these existing in here prior to making any new trades. So now let's say I was done for the day, and let's say it's the close, and I want to keep this file, and I want it to contain not only the original trades that I made, but also the new one that I just now added. So I come back up here to the Actions menu, little hash mark icon, grid icon, whatever you want to call it. And now I want to export the current trades, again, not the all trades, because you might have other stuff here. So you want to export the current trades, which are those for this particular cycle that we already had, and the new one that I just now added. So I will click on that again, And this will bring back this same menu. And I'll make this one video test part B. That should save it right in this same folder, I think. Let's try that. So there it is, and there it is in this folder. So then if I go back and now I delete all the simulated trades, I go back to the folder, and now we'll say this is a new day. We'll say this is now the following day. Well, this is the file that I will want to import. So I will come over here, and I want to import a trade. And now this is the one that I want, because this is going to contain the additional credit spread that I added. I will open that up, and there is everything, and including the credit spread that I added. So this is a way that you keep track of everything. This is in the number 3 on the overview that I gave you. And to be able to see your P&L, accurately, except for the commissions, as I mentioned, you'll want to have this set on the hide the positions, because remember, you've already made these trades, so they're already there as a position. And if you have this set on show all, then it does exactly that. It shows the existing positions, as well as any simulations that you may have at the bottom. So you're going to want to hide the positions, and then these will be your Greeks, and they are very accurate. They're the same as the real positions. The difference, though, between this and the real positions is that now the P&L will be accurate except for commissions. Whereas when you're looking at the positions and not the simulations, the Greeks will be accurate, but the P&L will not be accurate. So that's the basic process. So I hope this answers some of the questions that we had regarding the procedure. I don't think I've left anything out. If I have, please be sure to let me know. And there may be some simpler and better ways that this can be done, but this is the way that I do it, and it actually works very well for me. Now, what I do during the day, during the trading day, I don't actually have this up because it gets a little cumbersome. So I simply, delete this, and I can delete these because we've already saved them to a file. And so I simply show what I have. So these are my existing positions that I already had in this particular cycle. And the Greeks are correct again, but obviously the P&L, I wish this was correct, but the P&L is not correct. But the Greeks are correct, and the overall configuration of the graph is correct. So this allows me during the trading day to see exactly what I'm doing, to see when I need to add something or to cut something, etc. And then at the end of the day, after the close, I go through the process that I outlined previously. I bring in all the simulated trades, and I also bring in any trades that I have done on this day, and then in the manner that I showed, I append them at the bottom. So now I have everything sitting at the bottom as simulated trades. I don't have any in there now, but anyway, I have them all sitting at the bottom as simulated trades. And then I will bring this in now here, just to be able to talk around this. So I will have everything sitting in here at the bottom as simulated trades, and then I'll do the export, and I want to give it a new date because I want to be able to keep track of all the dates. The rationale for that is, number one, you keep them straight, but also number two, if there's some sort of a file corruption, you don't have to go all the way back. You can go back to yesterday or the day before and bring in those trades. And then when you go to add any current trades since then, in the manner that I showed earlier, you only have to add the trades from the newer dates. You don't have to go back to the very beginning. So that's the way I do it. And so I hope that this has been helpful. And if I can figure out how to stop the recording, I'll do that. So thanks, everybody.